In the heart of an unforgiving desert, Amir trudged through the endless sea of dunes, his sunburnt face covered by a tattered scarf. He was a seasoned explorer, driven by an insatiable curiosity to uncover the secrets hidden within the barren landscape. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and red, Amir's keen eye spotted something unusual on the horizon, a shimmering mirage that seemed to beckon him closer. Intrigued, he altered his course and made his way towards the anomaly. Hours passed as he navigated the treacherous terrain, his determination unwavering despite the growing fatigue in his bones. Finally, as the last light of day faded into the cool embrace of night, Amir found himself standing at the edge of a hidden oasis, a lush paradise nestled amidst the stark beauty of the desert. Towering palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves rustling like whispered secrets. A crystal-clear pool reflected the starry sky above, its surface broken only by the occasional ripple caused by a leaping fish. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of jasmine and honeysuckle, a welcome respite from the dry, acrid winds of the desert. As Amir explored the oasis, his attention was drawn to an ancient stone structure at its center. Covered in intricate carvings and faded hieroglyphs, it seemed to emanate an aura of mystery and power. Intrigued, Amir approached the structure, his heart pounding with anticipation. Inside, he found a small chamber illuminated by a soft, otherworldly glow. At its center stood a pedestal, upon which rested an ancient oil lamp, its tarnished surface covered in strange symbols and markings. With trembling hands, Amir reached out and grasped the lamp, marveling at its unexpected warmth. As he began to examine it more closely, he noticed a faint wisp of smoke rising from its spout. Suddenly, the smoke billowed outward, filling the chamber with a shimmering, iridescent mist. From within the mist, a figure began to take shape, a beautiful woman with skin the color of polished copper and eyes that sparkled like stars. She was clad in flowing robes of shimmering silk, adorned with intricate gold embroidery. As she fully materialized before Amir, he couldn't help but gasp in awe at her ethereal beauty. "I am Zephyr, Genie of the lamp," the woman spoke, her voice rich and melodic. "You, mortal, have awakened me from my slumber. As is the custom, I shall grant you 3 wishes. But be warned," she added, her tone turning serious, "for each wish carries with it the weight of consequence. Choose wisely, for the fate of your world may hang in the balance." Amir, overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events, sank to his knees before the Genie. His mind raced with possibilities: wealth, power, immortality. But something deep within him stirred, urging him to seek a different path. As he looked up at Zephyr, her eyes shimmering with ancient wisdom and untold secrets, Amir realized that this moment was not about his own desires, but about something far greater than himself. With a steadying breath, he rose to his feet, ready to embark on a journey that would change not only his life, but the course of human history itself. Standing before the ethereal Genie, Amir felt the weight of his impending decision pressing upon him. He knew that his first wish would set the tone for the rest of his journey, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to this encounter than mere chance. Zephyr watched him patiently, her gaze filled with a mix of curiosity and anticipation. In all her centuries of granting wishes, she had never encountered a human quite like Amir, one who seemed to look beyond the surface of things, seeking a deeper understanding of the world around him. Finally, Amir spoke, his voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "Zephyr," he said, "I have heard tales of genies granting wishes for wealth, power, and glory. But I find myself drawn to a different path. My first wish is to understand your perspective and experiences, to see the world through your eyes, and to learn from the wisdom you've gained over countless lifetimes." The genie's eyes widened in surprise, her lips parting slightly as she processed Amir's request. In all her years, no human had ever wished for such a thing: to gain knowledge and understanding rather than material gain or personal advantage. "You are an unusual mortal," Zephyr said, her voice tinged with admiration. "Your wish is granted." With those words, a surge of energy flowed from the Genie to Amir, enveloping him in a shimmering aura of light. In an instant, his mind expanded, flooded with the vast knowledge and memories accumulated over Zephyr's eternal existence. He saw the birth of stars and the collapse of galaxies, the rise and fall of civilizations long forgotten by history. He felt the joy and sorrow of countless lives, the triumphs and tragedies that shaped the tapestry of the universe. Through Zephyr's eyes, Amir witnessed the true nature of reality, the delicate balance of forces that held the cosmos together, and the infinite potential that lay within each living being. He saw the interconnectedness of all things, the way each action rippled out across the fabric of space and time, shaping the destiny of worlds yet to come. As the visions faded, Amir found himself back in the hidden oasis, his body trembling with the weight of his newfound knowledge. Tears streamed down his face as he struggled to process the sheer magnitude of what he had experienced. Zephyr watched him with a mixture of empathy and respect, knowing that the burden of such knowledge was not an easy one to bear. "You have seen the truth of the universe," she said softly, "and with that truth comes great responsibility. Your path forward will not be an easy one, but know that you have the strength within you to face whatever challenges may come." Amir nodded, his eyes still glistening with tears. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice raw with emotion. "I understand now that my wishes must serve a greater purpose than my own desires. I will use this knowledge to protect and guide my people, to help them navigate the dangers that lie ahead." The Genie smiled, her own eyes shining with pride. "You are a rare and remarkable human, Amir," she said. "I have no doubt that you will do great things with the gifts you have been given." As the two stood in the shimmering oasis, the weight of Amir's destiny settled upon his shoulders. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with peril and uncertainty, but with Zephyr's guidance and his own newfound wisdom, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay before him. In the days that followed his fateful encounter with Zephyr, Amir found himself grappling with the consequences of his expanded knowledge. The visions and insights granted by the Genie's wish had opened his eyes to the true nature of the universe, but they had also burdened him with a sense of responsibility he had never known before. As he wandered the desert, his mind raced with the implications of what he had learned. He saw the fragility of human civilization, the way it teetered on the brink of self-destruction, ignorant of the greater forces at play in the cosmos. He knew that he had to find a way to use his knowledge to help his people, to guide them towards a better future. But the more he delved into the mysteries of the universe, the more he realized the limitations of his own power. Even with the Genie's wishes at his disposal, he was still just one man, facing challenges that seemed insurmountable. It was during one of these moments of doubt and uncertainty that Zephyr appeared before him once more, her shimmering form materializing out of the desert air. "You are troubled, Amir," she said, her voice filled with concern. "The knowledge you have gained weighs heavily upon you." Amir nodded, his eyes downcast. "I fear that I am not strong enough to bear this burden," he confessed. "The more I learn, the more I realize how little I truly know. How can I hope to protect my people when I am just one man, facing forces beyond my comprehension?" Zephyr placed a gentle hand on his shoulder, her touch sending a surge of warmth and comfort through his body. "You are not alone in this struggle," she said softly. "The path you have chosen is a difficult one, but it is also a noble one. And you have allies in this fight, both in this world and beyond." With those words, she waved her hand, and a shimmering portal appeared before them. Through the swirling vortex of energy, Amir glimpsed a vision of a distant world, a planet unlike any he had ever seen before, with towering cities of gleaming metal and vast fleets of ships that sailed through the stars. "What is this place?" he asked, his voice filled with awe and wonder. "It is a world far beyond your own," Zephyr replied, her voice heavy with sorrow. "A world that has achieved technological marvels beyond your wildest dreams, but at a terrible cost. They have forgotten the value of life. the importance of compassion and empathy. And now, they turn their eyes towards Earth, seeking to conquer and enslave your people. Emir felt a chill run down his spine as he realized the implications of Zephyr's words. "How can we hope to stand against such a force?" he asked, his voice trembling with fear. Zephyr closed her eyes, her brow furrowed in concentration. "I have seen the future that awaits your world," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I know that the path to salvation lies within you, Emir. But you must be willing to make great sacrifices, to put the needs of your people above your own desires." Emir nodded slowly, his heart heavy with the weight of his newfound purpose. "I am ready," he said, his voice filled with determination. "I will do whatever it takes to protect my people, to ensure that they have a future worth fighting for." Zephyr opened her eyes, her gaze filled with pride and admiration. "Then let us begin," she said, her voice ringing with power. "For the fate of your world hangs in the balance, and the choices you make in the days ahead will echo throughout the ages." As the portal closed behind them, Emir felt a renewed sense of purpose washing over him. He knew that the road ahead would be long and treacherous, filled with challenges and sacrifices he could scarcely imagine. But with Zephyr's guidance and the strength of his own convictions, he was ready to face whatever lay before him, for the sake of his people and for the future of all humanity. With the knowledge of the impending alien threat hanging over him like a dark cloud, Emir set to work preparing for the battle to come. He knew that he would need more than just his own strength and cunning to face the advanced technology and ruthless tactics of the invading force. He would need the help of his entire world. Using the second of his 3 wishes, Emir asked Zephyr to grant him the resources and knowledge necessary to unite the nations of Earth in defense of their shared home. The Genie nodded solemnly, understanding the gravity of Emir's request. "Your wish is granted," she said, her voice filled with determination. "But know that the path ahead will not be an easy one. You will face opposition and skepticism at every turn, and there will be those who seek to undermine your efforts for their own gain." Emir nodded, his jaw set with resolve. "I understand," he said, "but I cannot stand idly by while my people face annihilation. I will do whatever it takes to ensure their survival." With Zephyr's help, Emir began to travel the world, meeting with leaders and influencers from every nation and culture. He shared with them the knowledge he had gained from the Genie, the terrible truth of the alien threat that loomed on the horizon. At first, many were skeptical, dismissing Emir's warnings as the ravings of a madman. But as evidence of the impending invasion began to mount, strange sightings in the sky, unexplained disappearances, and a growing sense of unease that seemed to permeate the very air, more and more began to listen. Slowly but surely, Emir began to build a coalition of the willing. Scientists, engineers, and military experts from around the globe who shared his vision of a united Earth, standing strong against the alien menace. Together, they worked tirelessly to develop new technologies and strategies to defend against the invaders, pooling their knowledge and resources in a desperate bid for survival. But even as they made progress, Emir knew that time was running out. The aliens were drawing closer with each passing day, and he could feel the weight of his responsibilities bearing down on him like a physical burden. It was during one of these moments of doubt and despair that Zephyr appeared to him once more, her shimmering form materializing in the midst of a war council meeting. "Emir," she said, her voice filled with urgency, "the time has come for you to make your final wish. The fate of your world hangs in the balance, and the choice you make now will determine the course of history." Emir looked around at the faces of his allies, the brave men and women who had fought beside him, who had sacrificed so much in the name of their shared cause. He knew that he could not let them down, that he had to find a way to save them, no matter the cost. "Zephyr," he said, his voice filled with determination, "I have made my decision. I wish to take your place as the Genie of the lamp, to wield the power that you possess in defense of my people." The Genie's eyes widened in surprise, her lips parting in a silent gasp. "Emir," she said, her voice filled with concern, You do not know what you ask. The power of the lamp is a heavy burden, one that comes with great responsibility and sacrifice. Are you certain that this is what you want? Emir nodded, his gaze unwavering. I am certain, he said. I have seen the strength and courage of my people, and I know that they are worth fighting for. If sacrificing my own freedom is what it takes to save them, then so be it. Zephyr closed her eyes, a single tear trickling down her cheek. Very well, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Your wish is granted. With those words, a blinding light filled the room, engulfing Emir in a swirling vortex of energy. He felt the power of the lamp flowing through him, transforming him into something more than human, a being of pure magic and will bound to the service of his people for all eternity. As the light faded, Emir stood before his allies, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly power. He knew that the final battle was upon them, and that the fate of the world rested on his shoulders. But with the strength of his convictions and the power of the lamp at his command, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead, for the sake of his people and for the future of all humanity. The sky above the earth was filled with the ominous shapes of alien ships, their hulking forms blotting out the sun like a swarm of metallic locusts. The people of the world watched in terror as the invaders descended upon their cities, their advanced weaponry cutting through the planet's defenses like a hot knife through butter. But amidst the chaos and destruction, a single figure stood tall and defiant. Emir, the once human Genie, now imbued with the power of the lamp and the will to defend his people. With a wave of his hand, Emir summoned forth a shimmering barrier of energy, enveloping the earth in a protective cocoon that deflected the aliens' attacks like raindrops off a windshield. The invaders' ships bounced off the shield like toys, their weapons utterly useless against the Genie's magic. But Emir knew that the barrier was only a temporary measure, a way to buy time for his allies to mount a counterattack. He reached out with his mind, touching the thoughts of every human on the planet, urging them to stand together in the face of this existential threat. People of Earth, he said, his voice echoing in the minds of billions. The time has come for us to unite as one, to put aside our differences and stand together against this common enemy. We have the strength within us to overcome this challenge, but we must act now, before it is too late. Inspired by Emir's words, the people of the world rose up as one, their hearts filled with a newfound courage and determination. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to develop new weapons and defenses, while soldiers and civilians alike took up arms to defend their homes and loved ones. As the battle raged on, Emir unleashed the full might of his Genie powers, raining down fire and lightning upon. As the battle raged on, Emir unleashed the full might of his Genie powers, raining down fire and lightning upon the alien invaders. The skies above the earth became a swirling maelstrom of energy and destruction as the once human Genie and the alien fleet clashed in a titanic struggle for the fate of the planet. But even with all his newfound power, Emir knew that he could not win this fight alone. He needed the strength and courage of his people, the unbreakable spirit that had carried humanity through countless challenges and triumphs throughout history. With a final, desperate surge of energy, Emir channeled all his power into a single devastating attack. A blinding flash of light erupted from his body, engulfing the alien ships in a searing wave of energy that vaporized them instantly. The invaders' fleet crumbled like ash in the wind, their once mighty ships reduced to nothing more than dust and echoes. As the light faded, Emir felt the last of his Genie power draining away, the burden of the lamp finally lifting from his shoulders. He had given everything he had to save his people, and now, at last, his task was complete. But as he looked around at the shattered ruins of the earth, Emir knew that the true cost of his victory had been high. Cities lay in ruins, millions had lost their lives, and the once vibrant planet had been reduced to a shadow of its former self. Amidst the wreckage and devastation, a familiar figure emerged, Zephyr, the former Genie, now mortal once more. She walked towards Emir with tears in her eyes, her face etched with a mix of pride and sorrow. "You have done well, Amir," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You have saved your people and fulfilled your destiny as the protector of the earth. But the road ahead will not be an easy one. There is much work still to be done, to rebuild and heal the wounds of this terrible war." Amir nodded, his own eyes brimming with tears. "I know," he said, "but I also know that we are not alone in this struggle. We have each other, and the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Together, we will rise from the ashes of this tragedy and build a better world for ourselves and for generations to come." Zephyr smiled, her hand reaching out to take Amir's own. "And I will be there with you every step of the way," she said, "no longer as a genie, but as a friend and ally, fighting alongside you for the future of our shared home." As the two stood amidst the ruins of the earth, hand in hand, they knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but they also knew that they had the strength within them to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For they were human, and the human spirit was indomitable. And so, with heavy hearts but unbroken wills, Amir and Zephyr set out to begin the long, hard work of rebuilding their shattered world. They knew that the scars of the war would never fully heal, but they also knew that as long as humanity stood together, united in common purpose and shared hope, there was nothing they could not overcome. The end.